Welcome to Stocks and Screens, where we talk about investing, trading, TV, movies, and video games. We have CRob23 from our Discord on. What's going on, CRob?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for asking. Thanks for being here as well. So we're just going to talk about, trading. We're going to talk about investing, how long you've been doing it for, what you enjoy about it, what you want to learn. And then we're going to do a little bit of fun at the end and talk about either a TV show, a movie, or your favorite video game. So let's get right into it. How long have you been trading for?
I turned 18 back in August, so I've just been trading ever since the day.
Yeah, so you've been trading for 8 months. You just turned 18. So I'm assuming, are you working or are you going to school while you trade?
So I'm a freshman in college. I go to Monmouth University. It's just a little school in Central Jersey. I just ended like 3 days ago. I also had needed some extra money, so I got a part-time job at Pizza Hut. I'm a delivery driver, and then for the summer, I'm gonna also be trying to do DoorDash too, because the delivery job really isn't that bad. So on my days that I don't get scheduled for Pizza Hut, I just will also do DoorDash.
So how are you going to be able to manage your time when it comes to trading stocks? You can't trade while you're driving, at least not legally speaking. Being on your phone. So what's your game plan?
I mainly only do swings, and I just do the 3-hour trading thing or whatever, where you just spend an hour researching, and then you set your buy limits, and then your sell limits, and that's it. So I just try to do that, and whatever hits on its own, it hits. If not, I'm okay with holding a bag right now because I've taken a step back from trading because I get way too anxious and I've just lost.
That's fair. Yeah, trying to get those emotions in check, basically, when it comes to trading.
Yeah, I've been taking a step back and seeing just whatever happens. Like, I haven't really traded a single thing actively for like a week now. I've just I put half my portfolio into Bitcoin and the other half into Ethereum, and then I have my long-term account on Schwab.
Yeah, crypto definitely is the big thing nowadays. I personally am pretty heavy in crypto and pretty light as far as the market goes, because this is a good time to do exactly what you're saying and take a step back, especially when the market is so volatile and is so uncertain right now. So it's definitely seems like you have a good grasp as far as that goes.
I also have I tried to start a Coinbase account, and then I realized that Coinbase is just like a big platform. It doesn't have the small coins that can like go up thousands of percent. So I also started a Bitmart account. I went from $100 to $250 in like 2 weeks.
There you go.
So it's like it's just like I toss like just 10% of the portfolio in there and just see what happens. These meme coins are really just going out of nowhere.
I mean, yeah, it's funny when we preach not to chase these kind of stocks or these kind of memes, but like that being said, there's definitely nothing wrong with taking advantage of and trading them and making that those quick profits. And like for instance, like Dogecoin, we've been making lots of money off of Dogecoin, but we were also very aware that there might be a big sell-off, so we had our risk management in place. And are you been playing Dogecoin at all?
Oh, well, I mean, when I look back at my order history, it really does hurt your heart because I actually like bought it on my birthday for fun because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know a single thing about anything. I put $17 in on my birthday. It was at 0.003, so that could have been worth over $5,000 right now, which would have been nice. I get too anxious, and then I got burned on SNL, and I took a step back, and like I said, just tossed it in Bitcoin and Ethereum because I'm just like I'm fed up with the fact that I have no patience. So after PBU, I just was like, I'm actually going to stick to something, but I need to take a break first.
There you go. So you've taken PBU, Penny Boys University, our trading program?
Yeah, I got the dark orange tag. I'm an alumni. It was great.
What is as far as PBU, Penny Boys University goes, like what did you learn as far, like what was your favorite part about it? Was it like the charting, the psychology, or the plan, or a little bit of both?
My two favorite things were I loved making my trading plan, and then I fell in love with the candlestick patterns too. Yeah, I love FinViz too. Like that you guys showed me FinViz, and that was crazy. I like FAMI, like when it dropped 60% because of the offering.
Yeah, big offering.
FinViz, it said oversold, so I bought right off the 60% drop, and I did like the 25% day trade with everybody else. Like it worked. Like that doesn't work every time, but it honestly works like that pretty well.
Right. No, that's FAMI was definitely a roller coaster, but if you play it the right way, like you did, definitely was a big profit maker.
If I could go back now, I wouldn't. Obviously I could just say, I wish I knew Doge was going to do this. I wish this was going to do that. I wish without any, I don't need to know any future knowledge of the market. I wish I started Penny Boys right away, and I went through PBU right away, and I even paper traded at the beginning instead of taking my life savings that I earned up, and I put a good chunk of that in there thinking I knew what I was doing because I followed a couple Instagram pages, and I was just stupid, and I just burned. Like, all my money, and it was just terrible.
That's
So
literally exactly my story. When I first started trading, I thought that I knew what I was doing and put a whole bunch of money in. Turns out I didn't know what I was doing. 'Cause you go on YouTube enough and you hear all these people saying, "Oh, you do this, you can make $1,000. You do this, you make $100 a day." So then, I heard them like, "Oh, well, I'm smart. I can do that." So, you go in not knowing what you're doing and do exactly what you said. For me, I burned a lot of money, and then I finally found Penny Boys. This is before there was a PBU, and I learned a bunch from them. And it was like exactly like you said. I realized like, oh, there definitely needs to be some kind of program to, let everyone get this before they do the mistakes that I'd already made. So that's kind of how PBU became PBU. It was kind of exactly like you said. Like me thinking to myself like, oh, I wish I had like a PBU. When I first started trading. Speaking of community, I know you said you're in school. You're in the workforce. Do you have a lot of like student friends who trade as well, or could talk about stocks the way that you could talk about, or do you find more so like that's not really the case?
I did online school, so I didn't really get to meet a bunch of people on campus. I'm dorming next year, but like I think honestly the only people that can like share the love that I have and become a nerd like me are the people like in Penny Boys and stuff, because any of my friends, like, they say they like it, and then we started like a Snapchat group chat, and like anything I put in there is just like they can't like understand it, and they don't have the commitment to follow it, so it's just like confusing. But then anything that I put in the Penny Boys, everybody understands it right away. They respond. It's a great community. So it's nice like when people can match your energy like that.
So as far as trading goes, do you have any goals or like anything that you wish to learn to, as far as your trading journey goes for the future?
Honestly, the only thing that's on my mind is just learning patience, really.
It's very important, especially when it comes to trading. Yeah.
That's the only thing on my mind. Like if I stuck to a plan, like I would have if I went to Penny Boys, I'd be fine. But I didn't.
Oh yeah, that's the big thing. Is that's why we always try to preach, to everyone, and recommend to everyone to start off small. That because everyone makes mistakes in the beginning, and it's easier to dig yourself out of like $100 hole or a $300 hole than a couple $1,000 hole. You start off too big.
I started my trading plan on March 5th, and my from March 5th to when I decided to get anxious again, I went up like I made like 7% in like 2 weeks following like just my trading plan strictly, and then I decided to get greedy and get anxious, and I lost 30% really quickly, like because I tried some options and stuff, and then I grinded it back up again with a trading plan, and I went up like 34% or something in a couple more weeks. Like Quench says, trend is your friend.
Yeah.
That's what he says. So I need to just look at it and try and follow trend, which a lot of the trend is just Twitter and Reddit. So I just need to start getting into that some more.
That's actually interesting you mentioned that because, I always, we have these trading tools that we go over in Penny Boys Universe, like investing.com, Investopedia, Finviz, and all this other great stuff. But honestly, you're right. They're like Twitter, and even I hate to admit it, even like Reddit, like in, those kind of forums, they're actually the next, like, thing to use for not due diligence, but at least just market sentiment, So I definitely need to get into that more often, or more than I am now. Do you use Reddit heavily? Like, were you in that whole Wall Street Bets thing, the AMC, GameStop?
That was where my first humongous drop of my portfolio happened.
Damn.
I was so sad that night. I watched GameStop rise, I watched Nokia rise, I watched AMC rise. I buy it at 359 on the day after they rose a ton, and then they both dropped 25% after hours. So I lost like so much, and it's just sad. I wasn't in Penny Boys back then when the first rise was happening. Did you guys make any plays on that? Like, did you call it early and make like hundreds of percent?
Not like at the 3. I think it was like got it at like 5 or 6 or 7, and sold at the right time too. But no, Quench and Lee, Quench and Mr. Stocklock Profits made a pretty good kill on those plays, both options and shorting and riding the stock up as well.
Oh, they shorted it too?
I think like here and there, like once or twice. Lee's he's big into shorting stocks. Austin doesn't really do that as much, which is nice that we have a little bit of a mix of everything now.
I don't understand how shorting works, like in the slightest. Like, that's so confusing to me.
Yeah, I don't short stocks personally, just because of how risky it is. Because you're basically betting the stock will go down, which when you buy a stock, the stock can only go to zero. But when you're hoping a stock is going to go down, you lose money when the stock goes up. The stock can go up as much as it wants to go up. Like there's no ceiling, I guess. There's a lot of risk out there. But basically, with shorting, you're basically borrowing shares from somebody else. Like let's just say like I'm borrowing it from you, right? And I immediately sell it, and then I wait, and then I hope the stock goes down because I borrowed it from you, so I still have to give it back to you. So I hope the stock goes down, and then I buy it back, like, in 3 months for a lower price because the stock went down, and then I give it back to you, like, because you're my lender. Yeah, you're basically just selling the stock and then eventually buying it back. So you're hoping that you buy it back for less than you sold it. So like, if I sell it for $10, I want to try to buy it back for $5. I make $5 profit. So like, in theory, you're hoping the stock's gonna be worth less than it is now in the future. Do you dabble with options at all?
Me and my friend were a week into it, and we were like, "What's like?" We never heard of options. Like we didn't even know it was a thing, and we were just scrolling through the app, and then we see what's options. What is like this looks cool, and then we lost our money.
That's the first option for you. It's like you're used to your stock going down, like, like 10% at a time. Like, you have time to see what happens. With the options, like, all of a sudden it's like, ooh, I'm going to start options. You buy your first option. It's like, oh, and now I'm poor again. Like literally just lose all the money within like a couple seconds.
Exactly.
The last week of Penny Boys University now doing options for the last week. So kind of
Okay, good.
yeah, for those who kind of want to get like it's like an options 101 class. It's for those who want to get their feet wet when it comes to options. So it sounds like have you done options, crypto, day trades, swing trades, long plays? So it seems like you definitely have a pretty good base going on right now as far as your trading is going. So I know not to sound like a guidance counselor or some stereotypical teacher, but where do you see yourself in 5 years as far as your trading goes? Like, are you trading full time? Are you doing it part time? Is it like a long term, like a short term?
I think it will just be a side hustle until it can beat out my job after college.
That's
Then
fair.
I'll go full time because I don't want to risk anything because I know that if I could be not anxious for a year and a half, and then if I get one good opportunity, I'll get really antsy and I'll lose it all. So I want to minimize my risk and still keep at least a job. So I see myself just part-time trading for most of my life, but I could still stay very active with everything if Penny Boys is still around.
That's actually super smart. I know a lot of people, they jump in the stock market hoping that, they're going to become a full-time trader like in a year, or, even like 3 years. Like, and it takes a while. Like, even just any job you go, you have to go to college for 4 years, and then, you have to do internships or whatever in order to get that job. Like with trading, it's very much the same thing as far as becoming a full-time trader goes. It's kind of like what you said. Like, it's best to keep it as a side hustle at first, and then only if your job is getting in the way of your trading and you being more profitable overall, then yes, maybe think about either cutting your hours down or whatever it may be. But like, honestly, it definitely is the best to have that mentality that you do, where knowing your what can happen in a year's time. And anything can happen in the market. And there are a lot of traders who have like 3 good years and then like 1 or 2 bad years, and it's just like baseball. And they have batter slumps and stuff like that. Like, it happens. So and if you do, and if and you're not you, but just people in general do plan on full-time trading, it always good to have like a little side hustle going on. Whether it be like an online. I know I think it was Oasis, our day trading alerter. I just did an interview with him, and he's talking about how he has online businesses as well that he runs. So he has that as his little side, like his side gig. His side gig, and then he has his trading as like his full-time thing. And he also goes to school and all that as well. But it's definitely smart to be able to not be too optimism is good, but not definitely not to be running into the market head first in any capacity. That one included. So you definitely know what you're talking about as far as stocks go, and as far as like the psychology behind it goes. So that's definitely a plus. When it comes for you, at least when it comes to trading. But like that, Les, is there anything else you want to talk about when it comes to trading before we move on to the next segment of the interview?
Me and Oasis were talking because when I was a premium member and I would be in that game chat, we used to play Rocket League a good bit with each other, and we would just talk. It amazed me. Like, he said he was only 19 and he was in college, and he like was still just like, he's a shot caller and everything works for him, and he's using stuff that anybody could do. Like, he's not paying for any type of indicators or anything. Like, he's it's really impressive. Like what he was telling me. I didn't even know he had side businesses. That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Is it like e-commerce or something?
He didn't really specify. I'm not 100% sure. But I think that's what it kind of sounded like. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I see a lot of Instagram ads for e-commerce. Like, just they're like, oh yeah, buy this product, join my class, take my course, blah blah blah. But I think it's so risky because I was looking at it, and there's like, you got like Alibaba, and you can go on there and buy 500 laser pointers for $2, and then on Amazon you see the same laser pointer for $15. But if you do that and you try and flip it and nobody wants to buy it. All of a sudden, you got 500 laser pointers in your house, and you don't know what to do with them.
Exactly. Yeah, there's all these other big companies coming into that market, like I forget what they're called, the developers of TikTok, like Byte something, Byte Smart, Byte Mart.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I
Byte,
think it's his Byte,
yeah,
BYTE.
yeah, BYT Dance. That's what it's called. Yeah, Byte Dance.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they're like the developers of TikTok, and they're trying to get into that Alibaba industry of selling online. They actually have an IPO coming up. But yeah, speaking of Rocket League and video games and all that, this is Stocks and Screens. So the next part is we usually ask what our guest, being you, what is your favorite, and you can choose TV, movie, and or video game, either played recently or all time.
Yeah, I'll definitely choose video game, and I'm just a Rocket League addict. I started freshman year, and then I stopped for like a year and a half just because I wasn't good. Everybody just gets on Rocket League and says it's a bad game because they're not good at it. You just got to play. And then I came back to it junior year, and I played with my cousin for a while. I got pretty good at it, and then I stopped for another year, and then college rolled around, so I stopped again. But now I got back into it heavy, and I've been playing for like the last week and a half since college ended. So like I work in the night, and then I play during the day just for fun, and then I trade a little bit here and there. But like I said, I've taken a step back just to like clear my mind. So
Right. No,
yeah.
Rocket League's a lot of fun. How would you explain it, how it works to those, a very basic version of it to those who haven't played it before?
Basically, it's a ball's bouncing around, and it's a soccer game, but it's a bunch of flying cars. And you don't get power ups, you don't get, you can't pay for anything to make you better. It's the most mechanically skilled game out there. You can't anybody can get good at it, and there's no advantage for anybody unless you're like you got the best Wi-Fi and you're on a PC too, so you get the best frames per second. But other than that, that's like the only advantage. So I started getting addicted to I checked my stats after every couple games because there's I just got backup to I think it said top 6.5% in the world or something. So that was
Wow.
I don't even know.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you said that one. That was the one that I was going to say too, because I've actually been playing a lot of Rocket League. I guess my next favorite video game from recently. Do you play GTA 5 at all?
My friend got me into it a year ago, and I just didn't have the $200 million needed to have fun. So I would just my first 3 hours of ever playing, I just kept on getting killed, blown up, and then a hacker would come in and they would literally be able to move. I'll never forget that. I was just getting tossed around the map and stuff. So then I just decided to do a couple missions with my friends, and then we were able to just sit in our own lobby because I didn't know how the game worked. I didn't know how to get in my own private lobby to stop all that. I would just click online and I would just get trolled crazily. But it is a fun game. It can pass the time pretty well.
Yeah. I got it right when it first came out, and there weren't that many hackers, people just who has had way too much, like you said, all these explosives and all this stuff. That I here I am with a pistol. This is not fair. I played back in the day when it was fun. Now it's I tried going on there once recently, and like you just said, I got blown up every single time. I'd respawn and I'm dead. Next thing I know. So I heard I keep seeing this thing on YouTube and I have no idea how this works. Have you heard about this Grand Theft Auto? You can voice chat with people next to you or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's for PC only.
Okay.
Or well, I mean there's game chat on I play on Xbox, but
Yeah.
there's game chat where you can just talk to everybody in the lobby. The PC one, I think they're starting to add something like the game Rust, where you can only hear their voices when you get closer to them. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty neat.
How that works.
I like that.
So if you're 2 feet from them and they're talking, it'll sound louder. But then if they literally walk in game a couple blocks away, they gotta yell for you to be able to hear them. It's really cool how they're trying to add that.
Huh. A little bit more realistic then.
It is.
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about as far as stocks or screens or just anything goes?
I think we covered a good bit of things.
I know you got a lot going on, as far as work and stocks and and school. So, but luckily you said you're done with school now, right?
Yeah, I finished on May 5th. I got Dean's List for the first time. So
hey, there you go. Congratulations.
I think that's I got to chalk that up to taking that couple months break from Xbox.
That's fair. That definitely doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on here.
You got to have a good one.
You too. Thank you for joining us in Stocks and Screens. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place.